business is the approval of the meeting held on August 25th, 2025. Is there a discussion or a motion?
I'd make a motion to approve the meeting minutes as they stand from August 2025.
Second?
Second.
Okay, is there a second? Sorry, there was. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Next item of business is item 2A, site plan review for 5734 Windsor Drive, Fairway, Kansas, as submitted by Austin Gates, property owner, requests exceptions to the green space requirement with a waiver to the requirement of a watershed analysis and the driveway width to exceed 20 feet. Basil, do you have any updates from last meeting?
Yes, I'll let my report stand as submitted. The applicant did send a revised site plan with the dimension that you guys requested.
Thank you. Any questions for staff? I think the discussion last time was just wanting to clarify what that dimension was so that we could approve something that was with the actual dimension established.
Yeah, that's right. I think it was just kind of a cartoon last time. So this is dimension 4.5 feet and 7, I guess.
Are there any questions for the applicant? If none, would someone like to make a motion?
So just to be clear, we are granting, or we would be granting an exception to green space by which they're 0.8% over the required, or under the required, the driveway width, and that they do not have to do a watershed analysis. So three exceptions.
That is correct.
Is the applicant here today?
Yes. Do you have a question for them?
Yeah,
Wait.
I think,
Applicant, please, you have a question?
yeah, I do have a question. for the
Applicant,
yeah.
please come forward and state your name and address for the record.
Austin Gates, 5734 Windsor Drive.
Thanks, Austin. Just for clarification too, looks like an extension of the driveways added for, in what purpose? Is just like maybe another car park there or something?
Yeah, parking. There's already because we have a wall there, so it's very narrow to get in and out. And we extended the driveway initially, but it's not big enough to fit a car right now. So people try and park there, and they either break a sprinkler or people can't get around them to come through. So we just want a little more room to have one car parked there.
Okay. That's all I had.
Okay.
Thank
Any
you.
other questions for the applicant? Thank you. Is there discussion, or does someone want to make a motion?
We'll see if anybody disagrees with me, but I think I'm okay with the green space and the width, and given that it appears that it'll be pavers and not concrete, if I'm reading the plans correctly, it would make sense that we don't need to do a watershed analysis. It should be minor impact. Am I wrong? Minor enough?
That a question?
You looked at me.
Well, I think that would be an opinion. I mean, the code does state that pavers.
That's true. I guess in taking into account that it's not concrete, I would feel okay with that exception if we're allowed to grant that.
I mean, we could also require a slope towards the existing driveway so that the water flows towards their property, in which case it wouldn't impact the neighbors. It's another option.
We could.
I can maybe give you another, the way the land slopes, I think even if you have excess water, it's gonna go to the street because of the way this land slope.
Oh, because it's far enough down the hill already at
Yeah,
that point.
so it's down the hill, it will go
That's fair.
downhill to the street.
Any other discussion? Is there anyone that disagrees with?
Otherwise,
What Rourke is
otherwise I can make a
proposing.
motion. Okay, then, I would make a motion that we approve the plans as submitted for 5734 Windsor Drive and grant the exception to the green space requirement, the driveway width, and grant the waiver to the watershed analysis.
Is there a second?
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Right, motion passes. Next item is item 3, new business. Item A, site plan review for 3517 Eastville, Fairway, Kansas, as submitted by D. Lance Larson, property owner, request exception to green space requirement for an addition and pool. Basil, will you please record your staff? Or is this the,
Yeah, this applicant has requested that the application be tabled. They are going to make revisions to the site plan in their request.
do we need to have a vote on that?
Yes, let's just move to continue it to the next meeting date, which, do we know the exact date of that?
October 27th.
Okay. So yes, we get a motion to continue to October 27th.
I make a motion that we continue this until the planning commission meeting on October 27th.
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Moving on, item B, site plan review for 5516 Canterbury, Fairway, Kansas, as submitted by Adam Anthony Pfeiffer of APD Studios on behalf of Matt Adam Development Company Incorporated. Property owner requests for a new single-family residence with exceptions to the window hierarchy on front and side elevations and driveway width. Basil, will you please provide your staff report?
I'll let my report stand as submitted, and staff is not opposed to the application. And I'm open to questions.
Do we have any questions for staff?
I'm looking for the elevation view. Maybe you're pulling it up. Is that the one, the right elevation? Oh.
Yeah, keep going down. I think it's like A2, 2 and A2, 3, or maybe not, maybe it's right, yeah, right there. But it was on both sides, right? So Basil, on this elevation, is it the windows that are above the area with no windows, or?
The hierarchy. So. Yeah, that's correct.
And then on the next elevation, it's the 2 windows above the basement window? Oh. Go back up one.
No, it's the front where you have that window and above the garage doors, so there's no windows below there. I think,
So it's the front, right, and left, though? correct?
yes.
Front. Right.
So it's really more of the stacking requirement, right? They're not
That is
stacked.
correct.
Okay. Any questions on the window hierarchy comment?
No.
Okay.
Well, maybe just a clarification. So what is the deviation? So normally it's the windows are smaller below the ones, but you're saying it's because they're not.
But then, yeah, but the other two elevation, you have windows and nothing below. So you have second floor windows and no windows below it.
So the code says windows shall be stacked for two-story facades with lower windows aligning with upper windows and have a hierarchy with lower windows being larger than upper windows. So the stacking
Okay,
is
all right,
also.
all right.
Do we want to talk about the driveway next? Or do you go to the site plan for the driveway? Which might be, okay, there you go.
It's probably easier to see on page 42.
Did you mean that one or the one above it?
That one's, it kind of, you can see the outline of it, just not dimensioned on that one. So you know what you're looking at, and then you go back to the dimensional plan to measure it.
I guess this one I was having a hard time tracking where the dimensions are, so even on A 0.1. Where do we call out the width?
Go back and see.
So basically, the width is 22.3 for the driveway.
Oh, there it is, right there. Well, hers has it.
It's labeled.
The printout, it got skewed. It's supposed to be that one, but the one online is better.
Interesting.
So the requirement is 20, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
So the distance out from the facade or the building front is acceptable, it's just the width, overall width is exceeding the 20 foot?
So the width, yeah, so at some point, they're going beyond the 20 feet to 22.3. And the reason why the garage doors are not on the same elevation, it's recessed. And I think they need that width. You can see there's a wider gap between the two garage doors. And that's why they need that width.
So there any discussion on this item?
Could maybe start with the window?
Oh, sorry, I thought we, did you have something on the
Oh,
windows?
no, I was just gonna say, I don't see an issue with the windows. Unless, I don't know if anybody had any other comments. Looking at the floor plans, it's logical, it's fine to me. And I guess, I don't know, my opinion on the driveway is, I'm not really opposed to it.
Any other discussion?
I'm trying to visualize this. So that, the driveway is pulled out wider because the garage space that's closest to the house, it looks like it's protruding out from the front of the facade. Is that correct?
Is the applicant here? You want to come and state your name and address to the record? Maybe you can help walk us through this.
This floor plan, you can't tell from the floor plan.
Adam Pfeiffer, 12214 West 79th Terrace in Lenexa, Kansas. So to kind of help try and answer your question, the floor plan, so when you look at the front, we actually have that kind of large gable wall on the left-hand side that comes over and essentially kind of hides the front door. It's tucked in behind there, and there's stairs that go up to that front door. Recessed from that, I believe it's 7 feet or 7.5 feet, is the garage door that's closest to the end of that wall, that front. And then the garage door on the right comes out about 4 feet. So those garage doors are pushed back quite a ways from the roof eave. And because of that offset, we're getting some width in there so that they're not so skinny and so tight from both a structural aspect as well as a just aesthetic of kind of landing the width, not making those things look very skinny and very tall. And so that's why the garage just matches the edge of that kind of large gable wall and then the edge of the garage wall on the opposite side, which just ended up happening to be the 22'3" is what that is. So it's a matter of just kind of making some things aligned and not look kind of, you know, oh, we just kick this in and all of a sudden it doesn't line look kind of wonky. So trying to make it look as intentional as possible. And then with that though, knowing that we were over, we tried to pull that flare of the driveway in as close to the house as we could so that it wouldn't be as visually impactful from the street.
So the driveway goes to the, can we go, oh, we are in there. The driveway doesn't extend to the edge of the house, then it even stops before the edge of the house, is that correct?
It goes to the edge of the house, correct. What you're seeing beyond is the roof overhang.
Okay.
If you go back down to sheet A 2.1, which is the first elevation, there you go. You can see where we actually show that grade line at the bottom coming from the right edge of that large gable wall coming down to the right edge of the total garage. That's that 22'3" that Boswell was referencing. So we're just making this thing align. Then we come out, and then all of a sudden we taper back down to the, I think it's 12 feet at the, 10 feet at the driveway width at the street.
What's the distance between the two garages?
Distance between the two garages, you end up with about just a little over 4 feet between the two garage doors. It's 4 foot 3 inches from edge of garage door to edge of garage door. Now, mind you, that offset is 3 feet front to back as well.
A.3 shows the plan that kind of articulates that.
Yeah, A 1.3 is the first floor plan that.
Kind of like a
shows-
structural problem, probably. to
Yeah,
us.
it's a matter of resolving those portal frames on either side of the garage doors. And then also wanting to make sure on that piece on the right that that garage door remains centered in its mass to look intentional, while still maintaining the required offsets in the massing on the right side of the house.
gonna ask a Ron question. What if they decide to have two large cars?
That's why the right side is a tandem, or it's kind of a depth and a half, so they can do as they please.
So can we go to A 1.3 real quick so I'm on the same page?
Yeah.
From that view, it looks like the driveway stops at like the edge of the, like 1 foot past the edge of the garage door and not the edge of
On
the.
the left side of the left garage door, is that what you're talking about?
No, can we go to A 1.3?
We don't, the electronic packet's not the same as the hard copies. We don't have these.
No, we don't put the floor plans online. That's for
Ah.
security.
Okay, well, A 1.3 shows the width of the garage, basically 26 foot 10.
With 4 foot, 2.6 and 1.4 plus what, I can't read that other dimension between the two garages.
I think a dimension string probably clipped off somewhere in there because it's not quite that wide. Because you have 9/9/18. Okay, yeah, I'm looking at the site plan again here more closely. The 22-foot 3 does come beyond where the edge of that kind of gable wall is. That's what gets us to that 22-foot 3 dimension we're talking about.
I guess I'm just trying to understand how much concrete is beyond the edge of the garage door. Like, is it 4 foot, or is it just, it kind of looks like it might be 1 foot, but I want to understand that.
Oh, sure, on
On the right side.
the right side,
Yeah.
gotcha. Let me double check here what we've got. The garage door is 2'9" to the edge of the wall, and we would end up being probably 12 inches from the edge of that wall.
Sorry, say
So,
that again?
Probably about 12 inches from the edge of that wall. We were originally, I think, looking at this, that was the original intent, was to try and get to the edge of the wall, but to make everything fit with the green space. Looking at the final stormwater, we ended up having to pull that in to get to
Okay.
that 22-foot 3 that Basil referenced.
So there's not room to pull it in any further.
We're pretty close.
Any other questions for the applicant?
Is there any consideration on the 4 foot 3 between the two garage doors to snug that up a little bit so so you can bring that driveway over?
We start to get into a condition where we end up getting pinched in our garages inside, because all of a sudden, doing that, now all of a sudden, if we do, the door on the right side ends up becoming off-center, and all of a sudden, everything's kind of cattywampus with the tandem depth behind there, and then that garage on the left, you only have, I don't remember, what is it? About 1.5 feet or so from the edge of the garage door to the wall, maybe 21 inches, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of alternative ways to still meet the code and get the look that you're looking for. Was there no consideration on putting the garage doors closer together to where you could mitigate that pinch point on the house side of it, driveway?
Want to say that again?
If you
Bring
were
the
to
garage
shift the
doors
smaller
together.
garage and narrow it so the doors are closer, exterior, you'd shift it over to the right?
I don't recall if we had looked at trying to bring that in tighter or not at one point. I'm sure we probably did at some point in the very beginning when we first started this. You know, at most, you might pull 12 inches out of it by the time you try and resolve structural on either side without any kind of excessive engineering for strapping that thing down.
Because it would add a little bit more living space and then center those doors. Is that what you're suggesting?
Just shifting the door that's on the, let me look at the plan here, elevation, I don't have north and eastings, but like, Yeah, the plan that's closest to the house, the garage door, shifting that to the right to allow less of an impact to the driveway up against the house there. So you essentially just horizontally realign the driveway on the left-hand side over further. This triangle that we created. What's the square footage we're trying to get out of this?
We ended up right at our target square footage on the house itself.
Green space, I guess. Is there green space? No green space issues? Okay.
No,
So it's just a
we're
matter
under
of-
green space. We're right at the, I think we're
They're right at the
39.8.
max.
Yeah, we're bumping right against that line. You know, and if it's a situation where it becomes better to take some of that landscape planting that we show on the left side of the driveway and actually bring it out where that flare happens in the driveway to help kind of visually hide some of that additional 2-foot width of driveway, that's an easy enough thing for us to do. And it kind of helps to visually decrease the width of that driveway as well.
Oh, so you're able to leave it as is and just pull the landscaping out?
Well, I'm saying we can leave the driveway as it is and pull landscaping around that flare of the garage so that you kind of visually reduce what you're seeing. If we can leave that 22-foot 3 dimension.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You go back up to the site plan, the 0.1, there you go. You can see we pick up our landscaping, it comes right at where the edge of that flare happens. So if that landscape bed kind of curls around that angled piece of the driveway, you know, we're certainly willing to look at something like that. That seems like a fairly easy compromise.
Is there any discussion?
I'll stand by my previous comment. I think it's okay. It's logical to me why it is the way it is.
I appreciate you explaining the rationale behind your design.
Yeah, just, I don't have an issue now understanding that the door is a side entry door, the way he's got it configured. So you almost just walk in front of that garage to then walk up the steps. So with being recessed, he's got to pull out. I'm not necessarily opposed to it. I'm just was trying to figure out an alternative way to
Sure.
try to come back with some of that distance.
Any other questions for the applicant? Thank you. All right, if there's no further discussion, does someone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the plans as submitted at 5516 Canterbury Road and grant the exception for the driveway width and the window hierarchy.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Next item of business is item C, site plan review for 5500 Canterbury Fairway, Kansas, submitted by Brian Stanley of James Ingle Custom Homes, property owner. Request for a new single-family residence with exceptions to the window hierarchy on the side elevations. Basil, will you please provide staff report?
I'll let my report stand as submitted. Staff is not opposed to the application. Again, seeking hierarchy, right and left elevation facades. And part of our recommendation, if the application is approved, they need to plant 2 right-of-way tree or 2 large shade trees at the front. I'm open to questions.
Does anyone have any questions for staff? So on the right elevation, it's that the windows are not aligned. And then on the left, it's the size of the windows, or, well, no,
I think it's both.
oh, it's
There's
the
an-
alignment,
And there's a blank space underneath the,
yeah. Is that correct, Basil?
That is correct.
Don't we have to allow false windows in the code?
We do, we
Yeah,
allow
okay.
it, yeah.
Have we gotten away from that? I can't remember like anybody approving on that recently. Like the, you know what I mean? Like, did you put in, like, looks like a window that crosses in it?
I haven't seen it lately, but yeah, it's allowed.
Okay.
We also have a requirement for 15% of windows, so that typically happens when people can't meet the 15%.
we meet him on that? Probably.
Yeah, it's down here. Is there any discussion?
I have a discussion, but when it's time to ask the applicant, I have a question.
Okay, we can do that. Is the applicant here? No, the applicant is not here.
Okay, I guess I'll save my question is, why is there no windows? That's the great room, it looks like, on the floor plan. It seems weird. Seems like there should be windows there. On the left side elevation,
There's a fireplace, right?
yeah.
And I guess my other question would be, to the left of that area, why the sliding door doesn't align with the window above it. That one would be nice if,
Which
Line.
elevation?
on the left elevation,
Oh.
the door that looks like it's in the basement, I suppose, why it doesn't
Oh, yeah.
align with the windows above, at least to one side.
So they're in the plan, they're showing bookshelves there. Maybe that's why they don't have windows. But that's, you bring up a good point. That is kind of bizarre they wouldn't have windows there on
Yeah,
either side
that-
of the fireplace.
Yeah, normally there's a reasonable, just seems like an awfully big wall with no windows at all. I don't know what this is up against on that side, if it's like nothing, but I think the intent is to not have giant empty walls like that.
Well, but is there no chimney? I'm not sure where the chimney's showing up.
It's
on
not
it.
showing up on here.
Yeah, it seems like there should be a chimney
Elevation's
there.
inaccurate.
I suppose if there was a chimney outside that provided some sort of architectural feature, that might make more sense, but.
Or it looks like maybe it's enclosed, now that you say that.
Yeah, it's just, this is different than normally. Normally it's,
What is the square footage that you have to, you can't have, there's a limit on how much square footage or length you can have without a change in the facade?
That would be 600 square feet.
600, and they're at
Yeah.
438, or 431,
Yeah.
so that's why it's acceptable. All right, so I'm hearing that the sliding door window hierarchy, we'd like to see that stacked potentially.
Yeah, it would be great if it could be aligned on the left side.
Looks like we don't have alignment on the rear either, or the left, right, or rear don't align. I guess let's talk about the right.
Mm.
Do we have thoughts on that one?
Right, so the right would be, like that one's at least centered. The two windows are centered below the ones above, I believe.
Talking about the one on the screen?
yeah, they're trying to figure out what's in there.
Yeah, I wonder if those could be centered as well, like, there's no window in the mudroom right now. Oh, maybe that's a pantry, my apologies, never mind.
Which window are you talking about on the right side?
On the right, the double window, right?
Okay, the
Yeah.
double windows looks like it's bedroom 2 and bathroom.
Yeah,
Yep. And what you're saying, they're not aligned with the windows below?
Or the double windows are in I can see why there's not a window to the left. There's a pantry, like you
Right.
said. And then the 2 windows are in this kind of prep kitchen, which is, I mean, that one I'm okay with, but the one in the great room with no windows for 2 floors looks weird.
well, I guess for this one here, do we have concerns about the right elevation?
I don't.
I don't.
All right, then let's move to the left, I guess.
I make a statement. We approved the same exact plan with the same exceptions previously,
When did we do that?
a couple of months ago. I mean, this plan is like the 3rd or 4th one that you guys approved with
The
the
windows
same
were just like
hierarchy.
this? I think we're finally digging into understanding this hierarchy better.
Is that the Norfolk,
Exactly, yeah.
okay, the package that has come before us and we've approved it? This is the exact same thing then?
Yes. One is next to a member on the planning commission.
I guess. I think we still need to work through it and talk through it. So the square footage here, is there a rule that you have to have windows always on the first floor if you have them upstairs? I don't think that's a rule, right?
Basically, the hierarchy you have to have windows on the first floor and then same size or smaller size windows on the upper level or the second floor. So if you don't have any windows on the first level and you have them on the second, that's really not meeting the intent of the zoning ordinance.
But you have like garage doors on the front, and then you have windows above that, I mean.
Yeah.
I think you could argue we're not specific on whether you have to have them. My interpretation was if you do have them, then they need to be higher, lower. The lower windows need to be larger than upper windows. But we can talk about that here.
I was trying to see when we approved this plan before. I don't feel like I've ever seen it. But maybe I have.
Now, there's at least 3 of them. 2 is under construction, 1 is neighbors of Ben. It's the same plan.
Oh, it's just reversed, yeah, okay. Garage is on the other side. That makes sense.
They have that courtyard.
Is it fully constructed?
Yeah.
As a neighbor, when you look at the windows, do they bother
It's on the
you?
other side, because the garage is flipped on this one.
But I mean, have you ever noticed the hierarchy of the windows and thought, oh, what's up with that?
No.
Wendy, you noted that windows may not be specifically required, but I just wanted to clarify that you do have to have the 15% of the facade above grade that has windows. So I guess that is a window requirement?
Yeah, but they could be all upstairs, I'm thinking, and not downstairs.
Except for the rule, right?
For the rule, yeah.
Except for the what?
The rule about the.
The hierarchy.
But I guess I don't know if it doesn't say you have to have windows on the first floor, it just says if you have 2-story, the ones on the bottom have to be larger than the ones on the top, right?
But
I mean, it doesn't say
it's
you have to
open
have.
to enter, you
Right,
are
and
right.
I think it's fair, you could interpret it either way. That's just but I was thinking that it wasn't exactly clear, nor does it necessarily need to be clear about that.
Good to have some flexibility.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess question, does anyone have any concerns with any of the windows that we're looking at right now? And if you do, then let's talk about them.
Well, I did until I heard that.
Again, it seems like every application, that exception is coming up now. I don't know if you guys want to change some of the language in the code or not.
You're just doing a very thorough review, Wassel.
So just to clarify, the right elevation is, they're seeking exception because the windows in the, whatever that area is, they're kind of like the smaller rectangular windows on the bottom floor is smaller than the windows above it. That's the
I
exception?
think they're not aligned or stacked.
Okay, and then on the other elevation is just simply, there's upper windows but not lower windows? I don't,
So you don't have a concern with the sliding door and the windows above it, it's just you were pointing out the facade where there's windows on the second floor and not the first?
Well, the sliding door is really part of the basement, so that's why I didn't consider it, to be honest with you.
I don't have an issue with the right elevation, I think that looks fine. The left, I mean, I think it's a question of whether that sliding door matters since it's basement or not.
I don't really care about the sliding door. It's that big giant wall, but again, if this is, been approved, I'm trying to find the plans from when it was.
this floor plan's different than the house next door that's built. This is, the one next door is a center entry. This is a side, like it's pushed to the side, they have like a center room.
Yeah,
That's one's different. Real quick, Basil, just so I'm straight on this too, because the exception that we're noting in the approval document says they're seeking an exception for the right and left elevation facades for having lower windows smaller than upper windows. Not alignment, not anything, just the lower windows are smaller than upper. Correct?
well, now that I'm thinking about it, because I think it's the same as the previous application. So you have like the rear elevation as you have smaller windows. But yes, basically, and the alignment. So the upper windows have to be the same size or smaller than the lower windows.
Okay.
Did you find it?
No. Not since February that I can find, but that doesn't, I'm looking on my phone, so it's probably not the best way.
There is one, either Almonte or Buena Vista. would say maybe the beginning of the year, because I just did a roughing on it.
Do we want to table it, and then we could look and confirm if we approved it in the past? If not, then we could have that discussion on the window hierarchy at that time. And then the applicant could be present to discuss it.
I think, I agree with that. If we have not approved this plan, at least the applicant would be here to explain their rationale and defend their request for a variance or for exceptions.
Okay, I might have found, it's not the Norfolk, is it the Aurora on El Monte, 6109 El Monte?
Does it have the courtyard?
On the side,
Yeah, like on the right side,
Does it have similar windows?
So it did have a window hierarchy issue, however, there are windows on the main floor, so this is the same wall.
if I remember right, they use smaller windows above the
Smaller
bookshelves.
windows above the shelves.
Yeah, that's
So
what
it's
it
not the
was.
same,
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, why don't we table this, and then we can do some more research, and then the applicant could attend next time and discuss it with us further. If everyone's good with that, would someone want to make a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Alright. Next item of business is item D. Site plan review for 6119 Lockton Lane, Fairway, Kansas, is submitted by J. Childs of Built to Fit Remodels on behalf of Stanley McClurg and Kelly Crease. Property owners request exception for generator location. Basil, will you please provide your staff report?
Again, I'll let my report stand as submitted. The applicant is seeking a side location for the generator, and it's about 18 feet from the property line.
Anyone have any questions for Basil?
was there any feedback you received from the adjacent neighbor at all?
No, we did not get any
Okay.
info from the neighbor.
I just wasn't sure if the applicant maybe sent something in saying they were going to post to it or something.
Usually they attach it. How do you test the decibels? Do they install it and then that's when you test it? Or do they have manufacturers
Well, I have
information
a
that says-
program, so I match the generator model, the decibel, and I convert it for the distance.
Okay, so,
And then I have a decibel reader.
so that's already
it's
been,
about 12 feet in general. I have one that came and so most of them are 68 decibel at 7 meters. So it's 22 point something feet. I just got one at 71, so it needed to be about 15 feet away.
okay, so you've already checked it on this one though, and it's good.
Yes.
Okay. Is the applicant here? All right, does anyone have questions for the applicant? Sorry. Is there any discussion, or does someone want to make a motion?
I think I'd make a motion to approve as submitted. The
Second.
generator location.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. All right, moving on, item E, site plan review for 6220 Reinhardt Drive, Fairway, Kansas, is submitted by Chuck Erickson, property owner. Request exception to green space requirement for pool and patio. Basil, please provide your staff report.
I'll let my report stand as submitted. The applicant did revise some of the plans that he submitted. They were gonna leave some of the circular drive, half of it. Now they revised it, they removed the entire circular drive. And they submitted a watershed analysis. Actually, The only issue is the location where, since they removed the driveway and now they're wanting to put a pool, that's the reason they're coming. Because the square footage actually is reduced a little bit. as far
Sorry,
as
say that
green-
last part.
As the square footage for the green space, we're gaining green space.
Okay.
Is that reflected in the percentages you have in here?
Yes.
Okay, because it looked like it's like 1.2% off or something.
And you'll note that spreadsheet that was sent out by Abby is, we hang around 5% as kind of an average, so.
We did, but that spreadsheet doesn't consider too, that calculation is percentage-wise, yes, but like percentage of impact of property, like a 2% impact on a 10,000 square foot versus a 30,000
Agreed,
square foot.
agreed. It's
so
just
there's
another
some-
data point.
Right, it's another
Yeah.
data point, but just 5% on a 30,000 versus 5% on a 10,000 is a big difference.
Yep. Is there any questions for the applicant? Is the applicant here? Is that you? No, okay, the applicant is not here. Is there any discussion? Is there any concerns?
I just say, personally, I think I'm in support of this, that we're increasing the green space, and it's quite high. I mean, 69.8% is a fairly small deviation.
Yeah, and I appreciate too, the applicants made some concessions with the driveway and doing some modifications to really, trim this thing up, so if you can let the applicant know that, that was appreciated.
Someone like to make a motion?
Yeah, I'd make a motion that we approve the modifications to 6220 Reinhardt Drive as submitted with the site plan review and the exceptions requested as submitted.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, motion passes. Next item of business is item F, site plan review for 5720 Reinhardt Drive, Fairway, Kansas, as submitted by Michelle Weirderin of the Solar Guys on behalf of Ben Sozinski, property owner, requests to install roof-mounted solar panels. Basil, will you please provide your staff?
I'll let my report stand as submitted. Staff recommends approval of the application, and I did get a handwriting require that they are not removing any trees.
Any questions for staff?
I have a quick question for staff. This wasn't on the primary elevation, but I guess why did it come to planning commission?
When we adopted, I think we decided to give it a time frame and see how it goes with
Okay.
you guys, and then
Okay, so anytime solar, it comes through us now? Okay,
I believe
that's
so,
right.
yeah.
thank you.
But at some point, if you guys want to remove that requirement, then that's fine. Contractors will be happy.
I'm not sure if we've ever denied a solar, have we? Did you hit the button?
I don't think I pushed it, but it is right here.
No, there's a meeting upstairs.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I do recall when the dentist's office went in, we had a lot of discussion about the solar. We don't think we denied it, but we did talk about it extensively. I don't know, were you here for that?
That is correct,
Yeah,
but that was considered commercial.
maybe, yeah. Structurally, I think it looks good. It's flush mounted, so I have no concerns. Is there any questions for the applicant? Or discussion?
Concerns?
Do you want to make a motion?
Go for a motion.
I probably need to do that, don't I?
I think it's your turn. I think we've all done it.
I'll make a motion that we approve the plans as submitted for 5720 Reinhardt Drive.
Is there a second?
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. All right, next item of business is item 4, set the next meeting date for October 27th, 2025. Assume we have applications.
We have 2 applications.
Last item of business is a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion that we adjourn.
Second?
All's in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.